Oh, so I'm just gonna skip over Summer Games Fest, but when a new Nintendo Direct happens, oh, I'm all over that, huh? Let's just be fair, I'm just a big Nintendo fan. During the last generation, when everyone else was playing Last of Us and Call of Duty, I was here with this thing. Poor Judgment is just something that runs in the family. But hey, Summer Games Fest did have some good things. There was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Persona 3 Reload, Nicolas Cage. Can I start talking about Nintendo now? Alright, so we're starting off with DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I don't think anyone actually liked Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then we get more info on Sonic Superstars. This is another thing that was at Summer Games Fest, and whenever I see footage of it, I'm always looking at Amy, and I'm really hoping that she controls the same way that she does in Sonic Advance 1. Palia. This looks horrendous. Persona 5 Tactica. I'm pretty sure this was also at Summer Games Fest, and I'm going to say, I'm not a huge fan of Fire Emblem, but this might sell me on it. Myth Force is a first-person roguelike based off of Saturday morning cartoons. I don't know who asked for that. They announced a Splatfest in Splatoon 3. I have no idea why a Splatfest is in Nintendo Direct. I have no idea why Splatoon 3 needs to exist, and I have no idea who on earth isn't going to choose mint chocolate chip. Up next is Detective Pikachu Returns. I actually talked about the first one when it was first announced 5 years ago. Oh my goodness, it's been 5 years. I think I'm just going to reuse the audio from that one since it's still relevant now. Just prepare your ears. Again, I was 13.
Now let me just say, I have never played a Professor Layton game. I've wanted to, but I never got around to it. However, I have played Pokemon, so this might be the perfect way to introduce myself to the Professor Layton trilogy. I don't know.
And then Yoshi and Shinya Takahashi come up on stage and tell us that they're gonna show us some more stuff, starting with a full remake of Super Mario RPG: The Legend of the Seven Stars. My mom heard me freaking out over this, and can you blame me for freaking out over it? I mean, look at it. It's got Geno, and he looks incredible! And then there's a game where you play as Princess Peach. Honestly, I don't really care that much. A remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon is something I care about a bit more, but I would also rather play the original first. Back to non-Mario stuff, we've got the Batman Arkham Trilogy. You know what? I need to play those games. We have them on the 360. Gloomhaven looks disgusting, and not in a good way. Just Dance. Nothing screams Nintendo Direct worthy like Just Dance. Silent Hope is a Secret of Mana-style action RPG where the main selling point is that nobody can talk. What kind of selling point is that? Faith Farm. I'm pretty sure this one was in an earlier Direct, and I don't care about farming sims, and I'm pretty sure even among the people who do, I think the general consensus is that the genre was already perfected with Stardew Valley. So, Hot Wheels. It's not realistic enough to compete with Gran Turismo. It's not fast enough to be a replacement for F-Zero. The only reason why you would get this instead of Mario Kart is because it has a track editor. Manic Mechanics. It's like Overcooked, but for mechanics. And I'm pretty sure if you're watching a Nintendo Direct, either you're not a mechanic or you don't have friends, most likely both. DLC for Mario & Rabbids 2. Now, the Mario & Rabbids series, I would probably put it in the same way that I said Persona 5 Tactica, in that it might help me enjoy Fire Emblem. But the problem is, I don't want to have to sit there and listen to Dragon Warrior meets Megaten. Okay, that sounds interesting, but I haven't really played much Dragon Warrior. I plan on not really getting into the series until the remake of Dragon Warrior 3 comes out. And then we get some more information on Pikmin 4. Some of this stuff is probably huge for fans of the series, but I've only played a tiny bit of the first one. I want to get into the series, I just don't have any of the games. Lucky for me, the first two are now available on Switch as we speak. Unfortunately, right now, they're only digital, and I don't buy digital games. And after that, thank God, the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection is coming to Nintendo Switch. And not only does it include the first 3 Solid games, it also includes the MSX games. And the NES games for some reason. Vampire Survivors, this just looks like a Newgrounds Flash game. Headbangers Rhythm Royale. I do like rhythm games, although this doesn't look so much like a rhythm game that I enjoy, and more like Wii Music. Penny's Big Breakaway. It's a 3D platformer made by the guys who made Sonic Mania. The thing about 3D platformers is they're either absolutely fantastic, or you forget about them the instant you put them down. Next track in the Booster Course pack is the Squeaky Clean Sprint, and I'm pretty sure they're trying to tell me that I need to take a bath. Star Ocean, the second story R. Just looking at the combat, I think I'm sold on it, but I had to check whether or not the first game was on Switch. Turns out it is, but it's digital only, so no, it isn't. WarioWare. an actual WarioWare, not like Get It Together, which was just pretending to be WarioWare. No, this is a real, actual WarioWare, like smooth moves. Oh my, this is incredible. I love WarioWare. And then those guys are back, which means there's only one more announcement. And I was actually kind of disappointed when I saw that, because there was a rumor going around that there was going to be an HD 2D remake of Chrono Trigger, one of the greatest turn-based RPGs ever made. But if there's only one announcement left, that means it's going to be a first-party announcement, which means no Chrono Trigger. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, I guess we did get Mario RPG, but you give me a choice between a Shakespearean frog and a cloud that thinks it's a frog. I'm going with the actual frog. Okay, let me rephrase that. There's one more game announcement, because they also announced more amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom. Ganon and Zelda. And I don't want to spoil anything, but consider this a spoiler warning. I've played Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm gonna guess everyone who hasn't is out. Zelda's a dragon. And the final announcement? A new Super Mario Bros. Game. But it's not called New Super Mario Bros., it's called Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's got a new art style, new gimmicks, new power-ups. I feel like there's a Shrooms joke to be made somewhere. It actually looks like it's going to be a new Super Mario Bros. Game. As in, unique. A unique Super Mario Bros. Game. A unique 2D Super Mario Bros. Game. Something that we haven't had in years. Although, the art style, I'm glad that they went away from the new Super Mario Bros. Art style, but if this is the best they could come up with, they should have just stuck to the new Super Mario Bros. Art style. And that's the Direct. So, yes, I definitely thought this was better than the PlayStation Showcase or Summer Games Fest. Mario RPG alone was incredible. I love the original, even though I've never beaten it. And I can't wait to actually beat it to the 3D remake. Why am I wearing this? That can't be right. Much better.